But the very dishonest media, those people right up there with all the cameras. And I mean truly dishonest people in the media and the fake media. They make up stories. They have no sources in many cases. They say a source says there is no such thing, but they don't report the facts.
We'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, but there's not going to be time. I'm just curious if you have the
Speak
right
with
now.
Shane, please.
But you don't.
I'm sick and tired of you guys. The last guy that came in here, you did the same thing. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. The last guy did the same thing. You were the guardian.
Yes, and you just broke my glasses.
The last guy did the same damn thing.
You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
Get the hell out of here.
If you'd like me to get the hell out of here, I'd also like to call the police. Can I get you guys' names?
Hey, you gotta leave.
He just body slammed me.
You gotta leave.
You know, this project on Montana Voices, it was a project of love, really a trek on my part to get back to my heritage, where I grew up, nearby ranches where I worked as a high school kid and when I was in college. I wanted to see what the towns are like. I wanted to talk to people I had known. Some of the people in this program are relatives, some are classmates, others are prominent politicians. Some are very active today, others are candidates who ran for governor, for major office. But the main point of this exercise is to try to find out where the mind of Montana is. Montana is a place of many minds, not only because of where we all came from, but because of the future that many of us would like to see for ourselves and for the state, and especially for our children and grandchildren in my case. So it's a place of many voices, and we tried to capture that with this project. While our focus tended to be on conservative, what it means to be a conservative Montanan, we did talk to people of other points of view. But especially interesting, I think you'll find, is what became of the traditional Montana conservative. Where is that person now? How do they see the present national scene, which is ostensibly dominated by conservatives, Republicans in the House and the Senate and the presidency, and in the Montana legislature, and yet we see all this strife among people who call themselves conservatives. What is that all about? And more importantly, what is democracy about in Montana today? That was what the project is about, and that's what you'll learn when you listen to these interviews. Thank you.
When John told me that he and David are planning to go to Montana and talk about all different people about a political situation in this country, I just told him, you have to record that. Because I believe in this situation for not just Montana, but the United States in general, this is a significant moment that you have to video and record the voices of those folks. And you know, I was always intrigued by political picture of the United States, and maybe, in my word, a lack of economic patriotism. But Montana is kind of I think, a quintessential or really a good picture of what happened with the United States with the election of Donald Trump. Because Montana has really conservative values, and it is really a state with libertarian spice within it. But at the same time, I mean, Montana is the state that elected Janet Rankin to be a first woman, congresswoman, in the United States Congress. And at the time when women didn't have a right of vote in many states in the United States. So I think this is the great opportunity for a lot of people, not just in Montana, but all around the states, to understand what is this country all about.
My name is David Leuthold, born and raised on a Montana ranch in a family which was involved in politics. So it was that natural that I studied politics and government in college, and I taught. politics and government for 29 years in another state. But I always kept returning to Montana again and again, almost every year, to learn about what was happening on Montana politics. And it was fascinating when John Badgley suggested we ought to collect Montana voices to hear the attitudes of Montanans today. I readily agreed. Here were some of the voices we heard.
I don't know that he's going to be able to do the job, but I hope he does, and I think he's a businessman primarily, and I think maybe he can do the job because he's not attacking it like a politician would, and that I like that. I like that. I just hope he has some success, but the Democrats are just obstructing him in every possible way. The media is attacking him in every. That's why I seldom read the Missoulian anymore. Every article is just so slanted and biased against him, and I think what it's doing is boomeranging on the Democrats, and I think people are taking the position, let's get rid of the obstructionists. We don't care whether they're Republican or Democrat. If they're obstructing the plan to get America great again and to overcome our weaknesses, let's get rid of them.
My feeling is I hope it's only 4 years. My feeling about him is a total embarrassment. Every time he opens his mouth, every time he tweets or whatever he's doing, as a person, he's revolting to me. And as a politician, I think he's a neophyte, and I think he's in a lot of trouble because he's not really that involved or has not been with politics. He's used to having his own way, being sort of a dictator type and getting things done by whatever means. I totally dislike him.
Majority of Montanans would favor Trump's effort to reinvigorate coal.
I think they're watching it with interest, but everybody, of course, understands that natural gas is out competing it, and there's some understanding of the CO2 problem and that sort of thing, although the methane from other fossil fuel resources is much worse and nobody pays much attention to that. They're still here. If you start talking about global warming, you get a smirk for a while and then finally arguments defending the energy companies.
Something I think that might be kind of important in our interview. I was about to tell you that when I was a kid, the professional people and the college-educated people and the people who lived in Kalispell, which was the big town around here, were all Republicans, virtually all. And the blue-collar, hard-working, less well-educated people, especially those in the evangelical churches, tended to be Democrats. The old mainline churches, mainline Protestant churches in particular, most of those congregations were Republican. That's done an absolute flip-flop here in the Flathead Valley and probably in a lot of the rest of the country. And now you find upper income people, well-educated people are generally more liberal, and the blue-collar working stiff and his family who didn't have an opportunity for a college education and don't necessarily consider higher education that important even still, are the ones that are totally in the Trump camp, and they're making the Republican Party really conservative. they seem to buy into that sort of nationalistic, it's us little people against those big people kind of an approach that really actually maybe was always, there. It was just that the little people were for FDR back during the Depression, and now they're for Trump. But they're a lot of the same demographic, I think. And I'm not sure how to fully understand that. But,
Do you think fear is
fear
significant role?
fear can easily be radicalized, I think. And I think we see that. We see a technology transforming our whole country and our whole world, and a lot of folks don't know whether they're going to get left out in that and how that's going to affect them and their kids and their grandkids. People who are a little more confident about that, I think, tend to be a little bit less radical and maybe irrationally radical.
Yeah.
But I think Trump has played to that